With the coronavirus continuing to disrupt every part of our lives, it's very difficult for e-commerce owners to know what to do right now. Do you continue to take orders and fulfill them? Do you halt your Facebook advertising and put your store on pause? Or should you be spending the time growing your social media channels? It's hard to know what to do, but one thing that helps answer a lot of these questions is communication. In this video, you'll learn how to reach out to your supplier, what shipping methods are working, and how to ask your supplier which ones they're actively using. And you'll also learn how to communicate these delays to your customers effectively. Ready to get started? Keep watching. In a time where we're all separated and stuck inside our homes, the best course of action is to over-communicate rather than under-communicate. When you're running an online store, there are two groups that you want to make sure you keep very excellent communication with. That is your customers and your suppliers, to help you make an informed decision of what you should be doing with your store right now. I'm going to tell you exactly how to communicate with your suppliers and with your customers. Following these steps will help ensure that things go smoothly with your customers as well as your suppliers, and you'll know exactly the best course of action to take with your online business during this uncertain time. Even if you're just getting started with drop shipping, communicating with your supplier is always something that we recommend. The worst that can happen when you reach out to a supplier is that they don't respond to you, which in any case would be a good reason to stay away from that supplier in the first place. However, during this tumultuous time, communicating with them is essential to the success of your business. At this moment, there are a lot of uncertainties and concerns with whether or not suppliers are currently working, which ones are working, and whether they are currently shipping products. This does vary from supplier to supplier. However, China has relaxed a lot of their restrictions and lockdowns, so a lot of suppliers and manufacturers are actually back at work and ready to start shipping out products. Because of these relaxations, suppliers and manufacturers are ready to get back to work. So many of them are actually very eager to have your business. What's important is finding out which suppliers are and aren't back. You do not want to rely on rumors and assume that a supplier is back at work and operating. The best thing you can do is reach out to your supplier directly on Aliexpress. To test this, one of my coworkers, Alana, who runs a dropshipping store, reached out to two of her suppliers. One of them never responded. At first, they interpreted her question about order fulfillment as asking whether or not the order was actually on its way. I'm going to be totally transparent with you. Yes, sometimes talking to your suppliers can be difficult. There is definitely a communication barrier, but don't let that stop you. Keep pushing and ask more questions than less questions. These are also businesses. They want your business. So make sure that you ask as many questions as you need to get the answer correct. However, after Alana followed up with some more questions, she received an excellent piece of advice. Based on what the supplier had been experiencing, they suggested not using e-packet shipping at this time. Many successful and pro dropshippers, such as Emma Reed, for example, suggest staying away from e-packet shipping method at this time. The reason being, e-packet shipping method actually sends packages on passenger planes. With most passenger flights canceled right now, e-packet is actually the least efficient way for many drop shippers to get their orders to their customers. But don't be distressed. There are a huge list of options and other shipping methods that you can use to ship your products. If you're confused, ask your supplier. They want to get your order to the customer, because if your customer never receives their order, they're gonna ask you for a refund. And if on the tracking code, you can see that the order never actually got to your customer, you can actually ask your supplier for a refund. And they're running a business. They don't want you to be refunding any orders. So they are gonna give you pretty accurate advice in terms of what shipping methods they've been using. When Alana reached out to the supplier, they suggested using Aliexpress standard shipping. Aliexpress standard shipping actually does still have tracking available. The tracking is available within Aliexpress itself, so it might take you an extra step if your customers ask for tracking. However, it's still a very viable shipping option. Personally, I've found a lot of products on Aliexpress that I've purchased for myself and they don't have e-packet. Instead, I've used Aliexpress shipping before and it's been totally fine. Personally, I didn't notice a difference. Some packages do take a little bit longer than e-packet, but otherwise, a lot of them are on par with e-packet shipping times anyways. So don't be too freaked out if e-packet is not the best option for you. Another successful dropshipper, Pierre Emmanuel, actually also reached out to his supplier and realized that they were also suggesting AliExpress standard shipping. So that's the shipping method that he decided to go with. If Alana had not messaged her supplier, she might have just gone with e-packet shipping method, and then there might have been some issues. When Alana reached out to her supplier, her first response came after 5 hours, and her second response came within 1 day. That's pretty fast, and it only takes a few sentences and a few questions to know exactly what the most up-to-date shipping method is. If you're wondering exactly how to reach out to your supplier on AliExpress, it's super easy. The first thing you want to do is go to the product page of the product that you're dropshipping. At the top, you'll see your supplier's name. If you hover your mouse over the supplier's name, there will be a drop-down box. At the bottom of that drop-down box, it says Contact Now. If you press on Contact Now, you can instantly send a message to your supplier. It's really easy. These messages will be kept in your AliExpress account, but you can also set up email notifications. So for example, whenever my supplier responds to me, I get an email, which is very helpful if you want to make sure you're staying on top of the conversation as fast as possible. Now, if you're a skeptical dropshipper like many dropshippers are, you might be worried about the AliExpress standard shipping times compared to e-packets. That's a very fair concern. However, in this current situation and climate, everyone is experiencing serious shipping delays. Your AliExpress standard shipping times probably will be on par with most shipping around the world right now. In fact, many people are actually not even shipping products. To give you an example, I tried to buy a pair of sneakers from the United States last week, and I found a few different sellers selling it, and none of them were able to ship it to me in Germany because of the current situation. Even offering shipping and being able to actually send products right now is a huge advantage. As an aside, another way to get an idea of exactly how long shipping is going to take is to check out the orders at the bottom of the product page on AliExpress. Once there, sort the reviews by latest. This will pull the most recent orders and reviews to the top. Customers are never shy to let people know exactly how long it took for them to get their order, and you can also see a small flag beside their name so you know exactly where that order was shipped to. Now, this may not work for every product, especially if a supplier isn't selling a lot, but it never hurts to double check. It will also give you a lot of reassurance if you see that a country that you're selling to has been recently receiving orders in a timely manner. One other huge benefit of this is that AliExpress actually also includes the shipping method that the customer used. So you might be wondering, is AliExpress standard shipping going to take 2 weeks or 5? If you see a review, you can see if they used AliExpress standard shipping, and most of the times they do include how long it took. So you can compare that and see if this is the right choice for your business. Now that I've discussed staying on top of communication with your supplier, it's important to discuss staying on top of communication with your customers. You've probably heard this before, but I'm gonna say it again. Communication with your customers can make or break your store. If you have poor communication, this can be quickly reflected in reviews, which will lead to you making less sales. If customers even see a few negative reviews, they get very suspicious and might be hesitant to actually make the purchase. However, if you have good communication, you can rescue sales and you can help customers actually feel comfortable to purchase during this entire pandemic. No matter if you run a dropshipping store, online store, or if you run a local business and are just doing delivery, all customers right now are concerned about shipping times or delivery times. There are delays for online businesses across the board, but customers just want to know what are the delays, where their packages, and how long it's going to take, even if it's going to take a lot longer than usual. There could have been many times in your online business when you've had to over communicate with your customers. Perhaps there was a time when your supplier ran out of stock, your customer maybe wanted a refund, or they just wanted to see exactly where their package was. In any of these situations, you would have had to reach out to your customer, explain the situation, and ask them to bear with you while you found a solution. As I mentioned, one benefit of this current situation is that every online business is experiencing delays, so it's not going to be a surprise to your customers. What is going to stress out your customers is if you don't actually respond to them. If you don't believe me, you might not be doing any online shopping right now, but sign on to any major e-commerce store, big or small. You'll see banners, notices, and entire FAQs dedicated to COVID-19 delays. It's not strange, it's completely normal in this current situation, but your customers just want to know what's going on. So make sure to tell them. If you reach out to your customers early and are kind and provide the information that they're looking for, your customers are much more likely to be sympathetic, especially during this time. Even if your customers are extremely understanding, there's one way to really get ahead of this. Send them an email first. Whether you have an email service set up or you're just using the automated Shopify emails in your notification section in your admin, you can actually edit them completely. Meaning, as soon as your customer places an order, they will automatically receive an email. Now, you can edit this email to include a shipping delay notice. I would highly suggest doing this. That way, you'll actually save tons of time waiting on customers to send you an email first by letting them know that there are some delays, it's totally normal, and most importantly, that their order is on the way. Pro dropshipper Barak Drogan has used this policy since the start of the pandemic, and he has a great attitude when it comes to why you should be investing this extra time in reaching out to your customers first. He believes that reaching out to your customers first helps you in not having to spend extra time later on chargebacks. In addition to emailing your customers, I would also suggest including the COVID-19 delays in a banner as well as in your FAQ section. Make it easy to find. With everything going on right now, a lot of customers are extra sympathetic to small businesses. You are a small business. They will want to support you, but you want to make sure that they feel comfortable and confident with the information that you're providing them. I recently was doing some online shopping, and one of the stores that I came across didn't have any COVID-19 delay information in the banner or in the FAQ section. And I actually almost didn't end up purchasing from the store because I thought, are they still selling now? Are they still shipping now? I'm not sure. However, I ended up reaching out to their customer support, who reached out back to me and said, yes, they were still selling. However, there were delays with the shipping. I did end up making the purchase, but it's important to remember that not every customer is gonna go out of their way to reach out to you first. If you let them know that there are delays, they'll understand and they'll be able to continue on with their purchase. Being clear about delays makes the time a customer visits your store to the time they press out the checkout button much faster. The clearer you are about COVID-19 delays, the faster you'll be able to get your customer from going to your store to the purchase button. We've been hearing a lot of different things from different dropshippers. If you're currently dropshipping and actually shipping products, what shipping methods are you using? Let us know in the comments down below. If you have any other questions or comments, please know we would love to hear them as well. And until next time, happy dropshipping.